Good morning and welcome to our distinguished guests, soldiers, civilians, community and private partners, and family members that took the time to be with us here today at Fort Hunter Liggett.
Good morning. On behalf of Major General Tracy Smith, the Senior Mission Commander, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's ceremony. It's a great honor to be here today to take part in this ceremony. Honorable Jacobson, thank you for being here and thank you for your leadership in this initiative. It is very important to the Army Reserve to have this. I would like to also thank all of our other special guests for being here. The power grid ensures that our critical facilities can continue to operate when the commercial grid is compromised. As the Army Reserve's largest post and the premier training location for the Army Reserve, Fort Hunter Liggett is the tip of the spear for training, supporting both active and reserve components in collective and individual training. In addition, it provides a unique strategic value for the LISCO-LISMO fight. The award-winning Energy Resiliency Program here at Fort Hunter Liggett is a demonstration that we can leverage Army programs and enterprise expertise to make sure the Army Reserve installations are less dependable on commercial grid support by increasing energy resiliency with on-site generated power and renewable resources.
So as the engineer in the lineup, I get to describe to you what a microgrid actually is. And so we tried to put this in layman terms. I'm a structural engineer and I'm an electrical engineer, so I actually had to dumb it down for myself as well. But simply put, it's a small, flexible electrical system that can function independently or in coordination with a larger power grid. It combines various energy sources such as generators and storage devices operating in either grid-connected mode or as a self-sufficient system. The benefits of a microgrid are numerous. It can be controlled autonomously without human intervention. It's resilient, improving reliability during the grid disturbances, which Colonel Trotter pointed out already for us. It's sustainable, incorporating renewable resources like wind and solar, and it's efficient, lowering costs by using energy in the most efficient way. In emergencies, it can quickly balance power, supply, and demand to ensure uninterrupted services.
I'm Noemi Gallardo, one of 5 commissioners at the California Energy Commission, which is the lead state agency for energy policy and planning for the state of California. Our agency's mission is to achieve a 100% clean energy future for all Californians. The Energy Commission has funded over 50 microgrids throughout California to support the transition from fossil fuel backup, diesel generation, to clean energy, renewables, and energy storage with sizes from a few hundreds of kilowatts to over 50 megawatt hours. The Energy Commission can't achieve that clean energy future alone, and the military branches have been fantastic partners to us. And on behalf of the Energy Commission, I want to congratulate the Army and the leadership of Fort Hunter Liggett, who had the vision and fortitude to bring this and other clean energy projects to fruition. I am also personally excited to be here celebrating with the Army today because my uncle was a sergeant in the Army. From when I was a little girl, I admired him serving our country. I didn't always understand what it was that he was doing, but now I do.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here with you today on behalf of the Chief of Army Reserve, Lieutenant General Bob Harder. This Army Reserve installation provides a superior environment for joint interagency and multinational forces to train and ultimately win in multi-domain operations. However, Fort Hunter Liggett's mission is at great risk due to increasing weather extremes and our changing climate. California drought conditions and wildfires are not isolated incidents and are likely to be occurring more in the future. Army Reserve installations must be agile to adapt and mitigate to these effects so that we can continue to do what we do best: train, mobilize, and deploy our soldiers and units to support the total Army and the Joint Force around the world, as well as supporting other federal, state, and local agencies during times of natural disaster here at home. As a result of these threats, Army Reserve leadership recognized that having a resilient infrastructure is important for continuity of operations and ensuring the safety and quality of life of our soldiers and their families. Over the last decade, the Army Reserve Energy Program supported Fort Hunter Liggett forward-thinking vision for resilience to include uninterrupted, secure access to energy during times of utility disruption. To achieve this, the Army Reserve Energy Program has three main goals. The first goal is to improve energy efficiency and reduce energy demand to avoid cost and be good stewards of energy in our communities. The second is to diversify our supplies with clean, on-site, renewable energy to meet Army climate goals. And the third is to build resiliency by improving our utility infrastructure to reduce vulnerabilities to natural or man-made disasters, to include cyber attacks. Fort Hunter Liggett's microgrid helps to meet all of these goals. This project modernizes outdated infrastructure, helping to ensure our missions can continue through utility disruptions, and will help the installation reach its goal of 90% of its net zero energy. The development of a fully islandable, clean-powered microgrid means both the Army's overarching mission goals of resilient infrastructure to support a ready and deployable military force to respond to our nation's needs, and also supports Executive Order 14057, which sets federal net zero goals for the production of carbon pollution-free electricity. Fort Hunter Liggett's success has been realized by the dedication of many team members over an extended period of time. Modernization efforts have eliminated the need for fuel oil as heating source, reduced energy use intensity by 63%, severely reduced propane consumption, and incorporated a variety of heat pump solutions, including geothermal, air source, and water source systems for buildings. The installation has always been willing to pilot new technologies and demonstration projects and has done a great job leveraging public-private partnerships to help execute them.
First, I do want to thank Colonel Trotter for the invitation. It is always an honor and a privilege to be here with the men and women that protect our nation. And I'm always amazed of what they accomplish. And today is just another example of what they do for us so that we can live safe. The City of King has a strong partnership with Fort Hunter Liggett. We value the service. You are our neighbors just down the road, and we always want you and every person who comes here to train to know that. So on behalf of the city, we have a proclamation, and just take a minute to read this. This is my proclamation, the mayor's proclamation, recognition of significant achievement, honoring Fort Hunter Liggett, the microgrid ribbon cutting ceremony. And whereas Fort Hunter Liggett is the premier total force training center in the United States, and since 2018 has received several presidential and Army awards for its energy and water management programs. And whereas Fort Hunter Liggett continues to lead the way as the first ever military installation implementing a microgrid consisting solely of renewable sources using photovoltaic, I got that right. I was really worried about that one. Generation and battery storage. And whereas Fort Hunter Liggett supports the Army's Energy Resilience Program with its early adoption of carbon-free energy as one of the many examples of its dedication to resiliency, efficiency, and innovation supporting America's warfighters and their missions. And whereas the Army Reserve funded installation is very close to becoming a net zero installation, it is on track to achieve its target year of 2030, which is far earlier than the year 2045 goal of Executive Order 14057. Now therefore be it proclaimed on behalf of the City Council and the City of King, we express our sincerest appreciation to Fort Hunter Liggett, congratulate you for achieving this important milestone, strengthening the capabilities and flexibility of the United States military to protect and defend our Constitution and our way of life. Thank you. God bless the U.S. military.
This is our shared commitment to invest in cutting-edge technologies that are going to pay long-term dividends for energy resilience and reliability. Fort Hunter Liggett has set the very ambitious goal of becoming an Army net zero energy installation. They set that goal way back in 2011. And today we're realizing yet another step closer to achieving that goal. This is the first installation in the Army to initiate a fully carbon-free microgrid. So that's really a terrific accomplishment. And then one that should set the standard for everybody else. You know, we have a goal of a microgrid on every installation by 2035 for very important reasons, because islanding of this energy allows us to operate when the grid goes down off base. So while we're trying to get there, but for all of them to be carbon-free, this is the one that is going to set the standard. So thank you so much. I was so glad to hear about the professionals here at Fort Hunter Liggett who have reduced the installation's energy consumption by over 60% over the last decade. That's pretty amazing. I mean, if you think about it in your own household, imagine if in a 10-year period of time, your utility bill reflects a 60% reduction in your usage. That's really incredible. And they've also, of course, phased out the use of fossil fuels, reduced propane use by over 70%, and deployed 6.75 megawatts of solar power, which far exceeds the installation's needs and creates additional energy for the community. So we're giving back, too. We're giving back. It is no surprise that the White House recently recognized the Fort Hunter Liggett team for advancing carbon-free energy, but that's just the latest in a huge list of awards that Fort Hunter Liggett has received. As it was said earlier, it's punching far above its weight in environmental stewardship and energy management.
But then one of the things that's very unique about this microgrid is that not only is the microgrid controlling the solar and battery resources that support the installation, it's also feeding into the load at the installation. And so on a daily basis, the microgrid controller will be predicting how much solar is going to be produced, and then we'll be shedding load, non-critical load, so that on a daily basis, we can make sure with this microgrid that we are supporting the critical load here at the installation. And then when utility power is restored by PG&E, the microgrid controller will sense that power is back online, will synchronize the load here at the installation, and seamlessly transition the installation load back to utility power. And the installation likely won't even know that that transition has happened back to utility power. Collectively, we've been working on this microgrid for a long time, as you've heard in some of the comments here this morning. So it really is fantastic to be here with all of you today, because this day marks the day where this microgrid is here, it's real, and it's doing what we've all set out to accomplish.
Please step up to the ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna need everyone's participation in this. So on the count of 3, we're gonna cut the ribbon. 1, 2,